say this about Joe Burrow. He can still make the playoffs, which is insane how talented he is. And I just think we need to say, okay, what you're watching is what a franchise quarterback is. Their defense is awful, 29th. Their O-line is 30th. They're the cheapest owner in the sport, arguably. They have major clock management issues at head coach. In the overtime, they tried to briefly take the ball out of his hands and just kick a chip shot field goal. Doink. That didn't work. They're 29th in rushing. O-line, run game, defense, none of it. And he's got this team potentially in the playoffs. Denver's got a better roster. Denver's got a real defense. He shredded it. He shreds everybody. So this is a 3-14 team without Joe Burrow. And you know what it's reminding me, speaking of LeBron James' 40th birthday, it reminds me of LeBron in Cleveland the first time, where he's there for 7 years. And finally, he goes to like the Olympics, and LeBron's like, oh, this is what it's like to play with really good players. I remember LeBron in Cleveland, and by the way, Burrow got to a Super Bowl and lost. LeBron got to a finals and got run out of the building 4 straight by San Antonio. And then LeBron finally realized, ownership, front office, I'm wasting my time here. And LeBron felt bad. He eventually came back. But, I mean, folks, what Joe Burrow is doing right now, I think there are 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that have separated from everybody else. I think it's Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, and Patrick Mahomes. And I like a lot of other quarterbacks. But we're not going to pay much attention to Joe Burrow. The other 4, Mahomes, Lamar, Justin, and Allen, have support. Coaching support, a decent O-line. I mean, good God, Justin Herbert now has Harbaugh on 2 big-time tackles. Joe Burrow's running for his life, no run game, can only win in the shootout. I mean, at least Zach Taylor, the head coach, appreciates it.
I don't know that anybody can stand on a field and watch Joe Burrow and say he's not the best player in the world. The clearest thing I can say is I would not trade Joe Burrow for any player in the universe. And so, obviously, to me, that's MVP to me.
All right. So listen, you know, Colin asked the question, are the Bengals wasting Joe Burrow's talent? Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. Undeniably. He says that what Joe Burrow is doing is the mark of a franchise quarterback. No, it's not. It's the mark of an all-time great quarterback. Joe Burrow is out of his mind. It's insane what this guy has to keep overcoming. And to do so without having these physical gifts of using your legs and stuff like that is amazing. It's extraordinary. We understand how a Lamar or a Josh Allen can kind of find their way because they can use their athleticism. They can make up some of the run game and whatnot. Joe Burrow doesn't have that. Joe Burrow has to make all his plays from the pocket. He has to play like pure football. And he does so in just at a legendary rate. If you watch the game, they even pointed it out. All of his games, what is it, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, I think is what it is. I mean, it was just legendary. Everything he does is just pretty special at this point. And it's so funny to hear people be like, in my previous Joe Burrow video, they're like, oh, he's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And it's like, do you want the guy to have nothing? He has a kicker who can't kick field goals. He's got no O-line. They finally kind of have the run game going. For the most part, they don't have a run game. They have no defense. Like, what do you, like, it's, our collective brain rot when we want to, like, give quarterback support versus not is insane. It's just insane to me. It really is. I mean, he doesn't have a top elite all-time great coach. He just doesn't. Taylor's not a bum. He's not bottom of the barrel, but he's not like a top 3 offensive mind. I mean, he's just not from my viewpoint. And the way how this franchise runs, they can't make Jamar Chase and T. Higgins happy. They got to like go into this season making both those wide receivers miserable. They can't just do what the Philadelphia Eagles did, taking care of AJ, taking care of Devontae Smith. They just did it like it was nothing. The Eagles making moves, getting Saquon Barkley, Why couldn't the Bengals make the play and get Saquon or Derrick Henry? Why not? Why is it so hard for them to make moves? Why can't they just make sure, hey, we got Jamar, we got T. Higgins, and guess what? We also upgraded at running back. Look at this. And we drafted, a couple big bodies. We rebuilt. I mean, the Eagles went out and got Becton. No one wanted them. Jets, failure. With the Eagles, boom, success. Like, that's what highly run franchises do. That's what they do. I mean, heck, at this point, why couldn't even the Bengals just be like, you know what? We got to go all in on our offense. We're going to have to just keep putting up points, point after point after point. Let's just get like another wide receiver. Heck, I mean, I don't know, like something, anything. But they just they don't do anything. They don't even think in the box or out of the box is the point that I'm trying to make. Like, I don't know, man. Heck, just get Amari Cooper and Hopkins. Who cares? Whatever. We're just going to have the most stacked offensive core in the history of the NFL because our defense is trash, our O-line's crazy. And you know what? Because of all these weapons, we're going to actually be able to have so many great, dump-off passes that they won't be able to blitz the way. I don't know. Just think out of the box. Outside of the box, you got to do something. Because otherwise, you're just relying on the shoulders of Joe Burrow. And this is what you get. I mean, the Bengals tried to do everything they could to lose this game for Joe Burrow. Imagine he almost lost this game, throwing the ball 50 times, 437 total yards, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, imagine he easily still could have lost this game. It's incomprehensible. It really is. I'm watching this game and I'm just like, unbelievable. I'm just like, how is game possible? I mean, Joe Burrow is a legend, and this is all the proof you need to know how much of a team sport this really is. It's why I continue to not give all the rings to these individual quarterbacks, because Joe Burrow is like a 10-time Super Bowl winning level quarterback, but he doesn't have any by no fault of his own. And I love when people want to pick and choose. They'll be like, he directly caused them to lose some games this season. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. Like, that's the brain rot that I'm talking about. That's the nonsense that we're talking about. Joe Burrow is not any issue for the Cincinnati Bengals. Also, when you have to throw the ball this many times and have to make this many plays, game after game after game, drive after drive after drive, yeah, you're going to turn the ball over. You're going to throw an incomplete pass. You're going to overthrow or underthrow. It's just numbers, man. It's just numbers. It's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen. You can only expect a great player to make so many great plays game in and game out. You just can only do so much. It's only possible to do so much. It's only possible to do so much. And that's what's so crazy. Like, Joe Burrow is an MVP candidate right now. And he is a Pro Bowler. There was a whole conversation between, like, it's going to be between Josh Allen and Joe Burrow for making the Pro Bowl. And it's like, what? There's no discussion about this. There's no discussion about this. Of course, Joe Burrow, like, look what he's doing. What he's doing is, like, it's insane. And to do with his arm, it's legend. It's legendary. I mean, it just is. And if you're a Bengals fan, you should be so angry. You should be so angry. You could be the Kansas City Chiefs. You realize that, right? If you were just better run, you could be the Kansas City Chiefs. Your team could have like 2 Super Bowls going on 3. People could be talking about Joe Burrow being the GOAT. Like, you realize that's what's at stake? That's what has been fumbled? And so you should be livid. And this is what I keep telling fan bases. Hold your team's feet to the fire. Demand better. Demand better. Because it's unacceptable. There's no reason why Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals should not be in the playoffs. What do they need? They need to win one more game, and they need the Chiefs with resting all their starters to beat the Broncos. And I think they need the Dolphins to lose. That's too many things. There's too many things that need to happen for this team to be able to make the playoffs. It's so angering. Because also, as just a fan, a general fan, I'm angry that I'm being robbed of the potential of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, etc., to be in the playoffs. We're owed to be able to see Joe Burrow go up against Josh Allen, against the Baltimore Ravens, against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're owed that as fans. We deserve that. We just do, okay? We deserve that. All the games we watch, all the money we spend, we're the reason why the NFL is king. We're the reason why the NFL makes a gajillion dollars. We're the reason why these athletes make hundreds of millions of dollars. So no, we do not deserve some bootleg team getting into the playoffs to get rolled by the Ravens or to get rolled by the Bills or the Chiefs. We deserve better than that. We deserve better than that. I mean, at this point, it feels like franchises should be owned by the city. Because individual owners can just mess things up so significantly. And like I said, it angers me. It really does. Can you imagine if the Bengals don't somehow find their way to get into the playoffs? It's insane. And the fact that they would be in the playoffs and that they would have to face the Bills first round. It's bootleg, man. It's nonsense. Nonsense. Nothing more can be said. Yeah. Are the Bengals wasting Joe Burrow's talent? Yeah. They're not wasting his talent. They're wasting his legendary status. His also equal potential to be considered a GOAT. That's what they're wasting. That's what they're ruining. Indefensible. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals? Do you think that they're wasting Burrow's talent? What do you think of that awesome game against the Broncos? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.